Hi guys, this is Dom, and on this video I'm going to show you how to get started building analog sounds on the Montage using the AWM2 engine. So the Montage, of course, has two engines inside. We've seen the FMX engine, I've done quite a few videos about it, but one of the most powerful things about the Montage is actually the AWM2 engine as well. Why? Because basically it allows you to build all these kind of analog sounds, subtractive sounds, but also, any sound you can imagine using the samples that are included or bringing in external samples. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to get started with the AWM2 engine because it's really powerful. So to get started, go to category search, and then you want to go to initial, and you want to load the initialized AWM2 sound. So once you do this, you get a very basic sound with a piano sample loaded. Very simple. Now what we want to do is we want to go edit, and then we are inside our edit page. Now this looks a little bit different to the FMX edit page. You have 8 elements, which basically you can select like this, and imagine every element is like an oscillator, right? That's the Yamaha jargon for oscillators. It's very powerful because every oscillator can have its own parameters, as you can see right here: pitch, filter, amplitude. Let's get started. So, as you can see, element number 1 has the piano sample loaded. What I like to do is go to common and get rid of the reverb. Just remove it completely. Now, go back to element 1. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the name, because this is actually my sample, my oscillator that I'm using. So go category search, and now I have all my samples that are included, all the AWM2 samples right there. So if I go to guitar, for example, I will see all the guitar sounds. If I select one, so, and these of course are unedited, they're completely raw, so you can do whatever you want with them. But I'm gonna go to, for example, synth lead. And as you can see, now I have all those beautiful synth waveforms. So for example, I've loaded quite a few of them already, but let's say I want to load my OB sawtooth wave. This is, surprise, maybe from an Oberheim, so it sounds like this. Sawtooth, for example, sounds like this. 101. This one. So you can just audition all those different oscillators. Imagine on a normal synth, you have one oscillator that can be like square, sawtooth, pulse. It could be triangle, but here you have all those different waveforms, and you can load 8 of them on one single part. So let's say I'm gonna go for the OB sawtooth wave, and it sounds like this. And now that's where the fun begins. Now let's say I want to go and change my filter. So I go to my filters, and I can have a selection of all these beautiful filters that we have inside the Montage that sound really amazing. So if I want to go for a 24-pole analog style filter, I just select that. And I use my cutoff. Nice. Maybe I want to add some resonance. Now, let's say I want to create a very simple bass patch. Let's say I want to have my cutoff to be affected by my velocity. And now let's go to my filter envelope. And that's where Montage has so much information in front of you, and it can help you create the sound the way you want. So let's go and pull down my DK number 2. So now I can just fine-tune the length of the decay. Now let's say I want to up the resonance. Let's go down 1 octave. And all of a sudden we have a nice bass sound. Now this is just using one oscillator, right? Maybe I want a little bit less. Now what I can do, very cool trick if you're trying to build big synth sounds, is I can go to my element number 1 and I can hit Shift Edit. Check this out. Now I can copy this element to element number 2 or element number 3, whatever I want. Copy, and now it pastes the elements. So now I have 2 elements. Now they're exactly the same, so the sound just becomes louder. But what I can do is now I can go to Tune and change the course of the second element, like this. So much fun. Let's go octave, right? Let's go 1 octave higher. Now let's say I want to add some low end to this and make it even more subby. Now check out, one thing you can do is you can go to your elements, and now I can have separate EQ for every element. For example, element number 1. So that's why it sounds. You can also mute them right here. Now let's add some low end to element number 1. Now let's go and say, oh, I want to add a sub bass, like a nice sine wave. So I can go to element number 3, and now I go to my oscillator and just go and select category search. Now that's where Montage is really cool. You can go here and say I want a sine wave. Sine, done, and then it shows you all the sounds that have these tags. So sine, now I have my sine wave. Activate the oscillator like this. You can see on, off. So I'm going to go on. So let's listen to the sub. If you're not wearing headphones, you should for this one because you won't be able to listen to it on small speakers. That's great. So now let's bring back everything. Now, if I want to create a wider sound very easily, it's very easy to do. You just go to, let's say for example, I want to go to element number 2, I go to amplitude, and check what I can do here. I can of course pan this left and right, so I can spread the 2 elements, but I can also go alternate pan and random pan. And now as you can see, so quickly I have a very solid bass sound. Using 3 elements. Now if I go to common, I can also select different things. I can say I want to go to pitch and change my note shift. I can take care of my pitch bend. Maybe I want to have like a 12. So go down 1 octave when I'm doing my pitch bend. I can also go to all and kind of set my velocity limits, my note limits. For example, one thing that I would do would be, maybe I don't want this sine wave to go all the way up here. So maybe I want to limit it to maybe this point. So I can go to my high limit, keyboard, done. Same way like you spread your parts in a performance. Great. Now let's go to common and see what else we can do. I'm going to go to element number 4. And I don't know, what should we do? Let's add something to spice this sound up. I'm gonna go to oscillator, tune, and turn on my fourth element. And I'm gonna go to my category search and maybe go to, let's see, synthcom, and see what happens if I choose this one. Now, that's the beauty of it. You can audition the sounds in real time. You can select your oscillators in real time, see which one sounds great. Let's say I want to enhance the attack. This is just the attack. Let's try VA attacks. That's pretty cool. This is like a short mini attack. Let's select this and let's listen to it in isolation. So this is a very, very cool trick. You just layer just a little bit of the attack and you have a great sound. Now let's say I want to, let's try the, that's great. I love the VA attacks too. I'm gonna select that. And then maybe I want to add a little bit of EQ, maybe add a little bit of top end. Let's try and add some mid-range. See how much punch this gives to the sound. Listen without it. Great, great, great sound. So let's say I want to make this into a real bass patch. Some things that I could do would be to go and make it mono and then go to pitch and turn the portamento on and make it full time or fingered. You can change the legato slope. All right, so now we have a very powerful bass sound. Now the thing is, for the fourth element that gives me the attack, I might want to limit the, the velocity. So maybe I want it to appear only when I'm playing very loud. So maybe I can go like this, and I can say over 116, I want this to happen. So now I'm not gonna have the attack layer when I play softly, but when I need it, when I play loud, again, very, very expressive. And of course, every single element has its own LFO, its own amplitude, its own filter, its own pitch envelope. So let's say I want to go to element number 2 and create like a very cool kind of glide when the note is triggered. So let's say I want to try this with element number 2, add a little bit of glide, like a high pitch attack when we trigger the sound. So let's go to attack and add a little bit of it. Now I can make it shorter, of course, if I want. That adds a little bit of funkiness to the sound. Let's remove it and show you. And so on and so forth. Imagine every element, its own parameters for your velocity limit, your note limit, pitch envelope, filter envelope, different filters, amplitude envelope. So you have your amplitude, of course, everything is right there. Element LFOs, EQs for every single oscillator. No other synth that I know of can do this, and it's so powerful. So there you go, guys. I hope this video helped you understand how you can get started creating analog style sounds on the Montage with the AWM2 engine. If you want me to show you how you can create different sounds like pads with the subtractive side of Montage, just let me know in the comments down below and I'll try and do this video for you. As always, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Have fun!